about your cruise around the world you're going to do next year, October, for breast cancer. Can you explain what you're going to be doing and why you're doing this?
Sure. What I'm going to be doing is taking a solo circumnavigation, which means I'm going to be going alone and going around the world on a sailboat, this 28-foot boat. I'm starting in San Francisco, and I'm heading basically straight to Antarctica, and we'll be circling around Antarctica without stopping, and then heading home for San Francisco.
So you're going to be on the ship, your boat, for probably, how many months are you going to be on it without stopping?
I'm hoping only 8 months, but I'm planning for food for a year.
Now, how are you going to communicate with the family back home? I mean, how are you going to have your power? Do you have cellular phones? Do you have a solar system? What do you have that's going to help you?
Well, as far as communications, I'm going to have satellite communication, and hopefully I'll have satellite internet so I can keep up with the blog and post up pictures and videos of what's going on. For recharging my battery, I don't have an engine, because when you're going around Antarctica, the amount of fuel you'll need to carry on board in order to get you anywhere is too much for the boat. So I had to take the engine out, and I've replaced that with a large battery bank. And now I have solar and wind to recharge my systems as I'm out there.
Can you tell us what you're looking at raising, and really why are you doing this for?
Sure. You know, the pink boat, as you're probably aware, when you look at it, I mean, you automatically know it's for breast cancer. So I'm trying to raise $1 million for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. We formed a 501c3 in order to specifically benefit them.
How much is going to go to cancer, and how much is going to go in the pocket?
When we get a donation, we give 80 cents of every dollar to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. The other 20 cents goes to running our organization.
The question I have for you now is why are you really doing this?
Well, I'm doing this because, for one reason only, I really wanted to help as many people as I could. I started talking to people about my around the world trip, and it captivated people's imagination. And I realized that, you know, by doing the most difficult endeavor on the planet in a pink boat, I could make a big difference for people and help a lot of people. And, you know, if I did this for any other reason, any other cause, you wouldn't know what I was doing when you looked at the boat. But when you see me in this pink boat, you know exactly what I'm doing. And for me, curing cancer is a matter of funding. If we had a defense budget to spend on cancer, then we wouldn't have cancer anymore. So I would like to be a part of the critical mass of funding needed to make cancer go away. And I really hope that the research that I help fund not only cures breast cancer, but it spills over into other forms of cancer. And, you know, it's not, a lot of people ask me, you know, I get this question really much every day, you know, who in your family has cancer? Who died that you know that has cancer? I mean, it's really personal questions, right, when people ask you that. But, you know, I have breast cancer in my family, and I have people that I love dearly that have breast cancer. But that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it just because I wanted to make a difference.
Give me the dangerous part of this. I mean, you're going to be hitting weather that's really unbelievable. You're going to be hitting cold weather. Is that going to damage your equipment? And the dangerous, you know what's coming up and why.
Well, you know, this is one of the most dangerous things you can do. The Southern Ocean has, it basically goes around the planet, and there's no land to stop the waves and the wind that build up. You know, it's not uncommon to see 60-foot waves, 100-foot waves, and see the winds in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and it's constantly a set of storms down there. So that and the freezing water around Antarctica, it's just really, you know, the most dangerous thing you can do as far as the waves in the ocean on this planet. And really interesting is that this trip is a lot like fighting breast cancer or fighting any cancer. You know, I've got my friends and family that I'm going to be in contact with, but still it's a journey I'm taking alone, and it's dangerous. And when you're fighting cancer, you know, it's still a personal journey, even though you have the people around you to support you. And again, you know, it's not always a sure thing. And I'm really honored to be able to fight along with the people who fight this every day. And I'm inspired by their courage, and I hope to tap into that.
So while you're on this voyage, what are you going to eat when you're not going to dock anywhere? I mean, what are you going to supply yourself with?
Yeah, there's a lot of things about this that aren't fun. And eating is one of them. Unfortunately, you know, I'm going to have to eat freeze-dried food for up to a year. I plan on catching fish to supplement that, but I also am planning to not catch fish, so I have to take all the food that I'm going to take with me. I think I'll try to sneak a few goodies aboard, but as you can see, in 28 feet, there's really not a lot of space. So, you know, I'm already pre-calculated for the food and the gas needed to heat the water for the food, and it's sort of going to be very clinical on what I eat there.
So, how are you going to sleep, and when are you going to sleep?
Sleeping is really difficult. Sleep deprivation is a real problem. when you're doing a solo trip of this length. And the basic routine that I have is that I set all my automatic equipment that detects other ships, and I set my alarm for 45 minutes. Now usually something will happen and the boat wakes me up 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and you become very in tune to it. It's amazing what you sleep through, but what you're also in tune with. So a different noise that you haven't been used to will wake you up. But supposedly every once in a while I do get the 45 minutes, and I wake up, I check all my equipment, I stick my head out and scan the horizon and head right back for the sack, and you just repeat that all night long.
The other question I got for you, we were talking earlier, you're going to like a race from San Francisco to Hawaii, but then I understand that the tsunami's bringing all that material by the time you're going there. This is in June, right?
Yeah, it's the single-handed Transpac. That's from San Francisco Bay to Hanalei Bay in Kauai. It's a 2100 solo race, and that leaves June 30th. Now from there, I'm actually traveling to Seattle for what we have, the Pink Boat Regattas that we also organize. And a real problem is the tsunami debris. It's scheduled to be in Hawaii anytime, and by the time we get there for June, you know, running into a house or a car in the middle of the night could be very dangerous. And I'm not sure what impact that's going to have on our race. I'm sure it's going to impact it. And going to Seattle from there, I feel like it's even going to be more. And even more so on the way back in 2014. Once I've rounded New Zealand, I'm going to be heading basically straight up for Hawaii to come over the Pacific High, and I'll be right back into that debris field.
So what is your family back in Michigan, right?
That's correct.
What do they think about you doing this?
Well, you know what? I couldn't do it without my family. My father has been extremely supportive. He's helped found the organization, and he runs the day-to-day mechanics of the corporation.
So family's backing you 100%?
Absolutely. You know, they're all pulling for me, and they've been really fantastic.
So inside your boat, there's not a lot of room in there. I mean, aren't you going to get cramps or claustrophobia or anything? Or?
Well, you know, I've said this before in other places, but, you know, we talked about the dangers a little bit, and for me, I think the biggest danger is just, you know, being on this 28-foot boat for 8 months to a year and being alone. I mean, most people, if you ask them how much time have you spent, you know, by yourself, will tell you it hasn't even been a day. Then you get, you know, maybe one in 50 will say, oh, I've spent, you know, 3 or 4 days. You know, 1 in 100 says they've spent a week. But, you know, over that, most people just don't spend that much time alone. And even if you wanted to, like let's say you wanted to go lock yourself up in your house and have no contact with another human, well, when you're done, you could just walk back outside. But, you know, when I'm down there around Antarctica, let's say I don't want to do it anymore, I don't really have a choice. I still have to keep doing it. So being alone for that long is really something that worries me a lot. That's going to be a very tough journey.
Well, I mean, you're going to be reading a lot of books.
I'll be reading a lot of books, that's right. A friend of mine just gave me a Kindle, so I'm looking forward to playing with that.
Good. I appreciate your time, Tom, and good luck on your adventures.
Nick, thank you. I appreciate it.